Hey cycling community, this is Steve Grusis, the Cycling Greek. With the last day of the X block, I made it through all 10 days. For today's ride, I was considering doing intervals up a climb, but then I heard about this big ride that was happening on top of the Fresno Cycling Club Muffin Ride. Contrary to what you may think, they had actual muffins out here on the ride. Once we were done with the muffin stop, a number of us continued on to what would turn out to be, for a number in our group, the turnaround point. And as in day 8, we did this at race pace. While I had not worked on any punchiness in my training in the last few months, I had worked on strong, steady efforts. As with the previous rides in this X block, that was my bread and butter today, though I had a hard time keeping up with those two in front of me. Once most everyone else turned back, those two strongest riders and I continued on. We continued on the big loop, which would end up giving us 78 miles and a little over 5,000 feet of climbing. Both of these riders were so strong that I was being stretched just hanging on their wheel. As we approached the first of the two major climbs on this loop, a 3.6 mile, 6.5% average gradient climb, I redlined and lost contact with them on the last undulation. As it turned out, they started that first major climb quite a bit ahead of me. I didn't panic, I still had a lot of strength in my legs, so I just set a pace and started chasing after them. After 2.5 miles, I passed one of the riders and caught the leader that you see right here. We are just starting the last steep section to the false flat to the top. Strongman John is not a person that tends to ride easy, so I'm guessing that he was pushing it quite a bit on the climb. I'm hoping that he's a bit overcooked. Since he's not pulling away from me, I'm thinking that's the case, so I'm going to try and drop him. In the category of my eyes are bigger than my legs, while I was trying to drop him, he was not having any of that. I was now starting to overcook. Fast forward 40 seconds, and now he's starting to pull away from me and I'm starting to slow up. While I did quickly regroup, I was not able to catch him. He finished about 60 to 90 seconds ahead of me. After we started our second climb, the third in our group, who is ordinarily quite a strong rider, was having a very bad day and quickly fell behind us. I don't know from where, but I still had power in my legs, and John and I were in the process of trying to drop each other. I went to the front and put the hurt on him. I did everything I could to make him succumb. I could not shake him, and after about 5 minutes, I slowed up because my body was giving out, and then John just continued on. After we left the last rest stop, it was mostly downhill and flats to the finish, and except for the last few miles, we pushed it hard the whole way in. It was a great day for a ride, and I'm surprised I did as well as I did. Now it is time to take a few days off. Well, I made it. I rode all 10 days and finished strong today. A little more race pace. I gotta get home. Hope you enjoyed this series. Remember, comment, like, subscribe, and share this. The Cycling Greek.